Circumstances, I think I did a hell of a job. I had a lot on my mind coming into the fight. I had to try to balance that. And I definitely felt from the first fight that I was a better fighter, but I just had to carry over in this fight and show what I have learned now. And I believe I showed that I'm not only a puncher and a brawler, that I can, if I need to box and win a fight, I can do that. So I felt that I did a good job tonight.
Seth, what did you see in this fight that was different from the first fight in November?
It was just a learning experience. I didn't go into the first fight underestimate Jonathan Banks, but I'm naturally a very aggressive individual, and after watching the first fight, I was the bull the whole time, and he's a counterpuncher, and I knew that going into the fight, but I just got overzealous after I won the first round, hands down, and he caught me with some counter shots, and we went back to the drawing board, and I was bending a little bit too far at the knee, bending over, not at my knees, and that's just something that I worked on, staying with my jab, balance. The acronym that I came up with this fight was PBAD, patience, balance, and distance, and I figured if I stayed with that I could definitely get the win.
He was able to hurt you again. How do you get through that? How do you get through that round?
Again, it was a learning experience. Watching the first fight when I got dazed, I tried to grab him by the waist, and he was able to step back and did what he was supposed to do, keep punching. And this time, I tied him up, and then when the ref broke us, I stayed tight. My defense was tight, and I didn't try to brawl with him. And that's something that we worked on over and over again in the gym. Kudos to my trainer, Andre Hunter. Had a great training camp.
Would you say your jab was the difference in this fight? Because you threw a lot of them.
I definitely would say that my jab was a big key to this fight, but just being patient, and even when I was catching him, not getting reckless and not lunging and reaching. And if I came out and lunged and reached, the same thing could have possibly happened in this fight. And that was just my main focus, was to stay patient. I know I can, go 12 rounds. I know that was a question to a lot of people because I've been knocking everybody out, but I trained extremely hard, and so the distance, wasn't in my mind at all.
So talk about the knockdown in the first round.
I hit him with a jab, and then I stepped back, and he tried to grab me, and I stepped to the side and hit him with a chopping right hand. I was kind of like on the side. It was an equilibrium shot. I don't think he was, really hurt. But watching the fight, watching Jonathan Banks, he makes a lot of mistakes as well, like lunging and reaching, and that's what he did. So I don't think it was an extremely hard shot, but he was off balance, got caught and went down, and 2-point round.
Looks like you were getting knowledge after round after round. It looks like your confidence, your jab, things were coming together, it seems, after you had the rocky start.
Absolutely. I wouldn't necessarily say that I had a rocky start. I had a rocky round, the round that I got, hurt in. But I think I dictated the first 2 rounds with my jab. I feinted him. I was really excited about this fight because I truly believe from the last fight I was a better fighter, and I was, a little not anxious, but I couldn't wait to get in the ring because I wanted to see in sparring and in the training camp I was doing things that I hadn't been doing before, but it means nothing if you don't carry over into the fight, and that's why I was anxious about the fight, and I think I carried over a lot. I know a lot of people didn't want me to take the rematch, they thought it was like too soon, but I truly felt that I was a better fighter than Jonathan Banks, and I proved it.
Seth, do you think that Jonathan Banks was 100%? Because it seems like after the 3rd round when he hurt you, he just died out, and the rest of the fight he was lackadaisical.
Not my problem. I don't care if he was 100%. We had a fight, it is what it is. If he wasn't 100%, he wasn't 100%. Am I supposed to take it easy on him?
No, I'm not asking that, but I mean, you being in the ring with him twice now, did he look the same? Did he look less than 100% to you?
No, I think that he didn't expect me to box and move and use my jab the way I did. I thought he thought that I would retreat back to old form, being aggressive, brawling, coming forward. So I think that, threw him for a shot. I have a beautiful jab. Sometimes I leave it at home, but that was one of my main focuses is just to do what I've been doing in sparring and in training. And I know sparring isn't fighting, but just have courage. I was very confident about this fight.
Where do you go from here?
I'm going to sit back with my team. I think this fight right here shows the type of man that I am, the character that I have to not only take a rematch after, getting stopped in the first round. They show that I can box. I'm just getting better. I'm still learning. At the same time, I realize I have to win and learn on this level, and this is the level that I want to be on. I sit back with my team, clear my mind for boxing for about 2 weeks. I'm not thinking about boxing. Go home and enjoy my family.
Is it discouraging at all that this is your third fight in a row where you've suffered some sort of, been shaken up in the ring?
It's boxing. You know, fight through adversity. That's what life is about. You know what I mean? Quality upon a lot of people talk about, I haven't been coddled or babied at all. I fought at 9-0. I fought the Zach Pages. I fought the Jamil Barnes. I fought names like that, the Timur Bragamore. It's boxing. I'm 6.5 years I've been boxing. I'm still learning, but I'm getting better, so it doesn't bother me at all. I just got to continue to stay humble, stay focused, and go to the top.
Looks like your counter was caught him by surprise a little bit. You countering him.
Yeah, a lot of people, they don't know that I can, box. I've been blessed. God has blessed me with the athletic. I got nice size, nice weight, and I got one punch power in both hands and a beautiful jab. And sometimes, I don't know why, I just don't use all of my tools. And after this was a wake-up call. At this level, you're going to have to, you can't run through everybody. You're going to have to, sometimes sit back, box, the crowd may boo, but, hell, if I went out there and started lunging and reaching and brawling and got stopped, then they'd be laughing. So I blocked the crowd out and I just won. It was a one-round fight for me, win each round.
Did you feel you hurt him along the way?
I wouldn't say I hurt him, but he felt my presence in there. He felt my presence with some body shots. With a couple of jabs, we call them, shotgun jabs. I hit him with a couple of shotgun jabs, and I think he felt, I wouldn't say I hurt him, but he was definitely, dazed a little.
Did he hurt you?
Hey, you saw the fight. I mean, I was dazed. I had to, I had some cobwebs. I was buzzed a little bit, but it's a part of the territory, and it was just a learning experience. That happened to me in my last fight. I wasn't able to, get out, but I tied him up and I stayed tight with my defense.
Seth, do you see a need for a third fight?
I talk to my promoters and see what's. I don't believe we have a rematch clause in our contract, and I can honestly say if I didn't have a rematch clause in my first contract, he wouldn't have fought me again. So we'll see what happens.
Seth may have labeled you as the next great American heavyweight. Do you think you're the next?
I believe I have the tools and the potential to become the next American heavyweight. I'll let you all say that. I just continue to work hard. I believe in myself. I believe that I can be, the heavyweight champion of the world. But I got to continue to work hard. And I think I got a good chance. I got a good team around me, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, my trainer right here, Andre Hunter, because everybody, once you lose a fight, you need a new trainer. You need this and you need that. Everybody starts somewhere. And we're gonna go to the top together. This is a man that he doesn't care about Seth Mitchell the boxer. He cares about Seth Mitchell, and that's something that I love and I cherish about him. And he's a hell of a trainer. And we're gonna just continue to work hard. My team, Al Heyman, my manager, Sharice Salim, Lauren Shabak, and Chris Ray, my cut man, Golden Boy. I got a great team, and I put myself in a position where all I have to do is win, and the future can be really bright for me.
That's it? Anybody else? Okay, Seth, thanks. Very nice. If you'll be a little patient, but they should be, one of them should be on his way. I'm campaigning hard at this late hour.
Listen, so, was that more than just a friendly picture?
Did you just see the fights tonight, man?
We asked for Bernard to talk to
But
Bernard.
it ain't my time and place now to talk about me.
No. The reason it made it your time is because the fighters are busy.
I'm not thirsty to have a conversation with the media on somebody else's success tonight. And I look at Broner and I look at Mitchell. I look at the guys that fought today, some that made a comeback because of their last fight, which is Mitchell, along with his personal problems that he had to endure. I think that it's appropriate that you give tonight's winners, and even the guys that didn't win, that put the sincere effort to try to win, the respect, and that's how I feel today. Because it ain't about me right now. It's about what you've seen tonight. It's about what the fans got in Brooklyn, and that's more important than what Bernard Hopkins will say about myself today. There will be you want to stay undefeated, and so I think it's a plus for him because he's young enough, 23 years old, to add on to what he already knows now. And he's going to get better. He's going to get better. I mean, one thing, love him or hate him, you cannot say that he's not going to get better at 23 years old. They all get better. They all get better. And that's where the time is on his side to get better.
Bernard, do you think he has a problem with bigger punches at 147?
No, I haven't witnessed that. I haven't witnessed that. I think he take punches on his arms and shoulders and not in his head. He has a defense that some would say looks like Mayweather. I think he has a defense the opposite. I think he might do certain things subtly that Mayweather does, but Broner stays in the pocket more, and he risks himself a little bit more to be able to trade with the other guy. We've seen it tonight with Paulie, but Paulie never been, and he would admit to that when he gets here. If you ask him about, do he think he's a big puncher? We all know he's not a big puncher, but he can throw punches in volumes and punches where he can win rounds where they are close and some are even. But that what kept him in the game tonight. What kept, I think, in the game tonight is the way he threw punches and the value, the way he threw punches and punches, the way he did.
Did you agree with the score?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Broner won. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was I wouldn't have been surprised if it was even a unanimous decision. But I'm not saying that a split decision was the wrong score because it was some close rounds. You watched that fight from 1 to 12. I was ringside, had the opportunity and the blessing to commentate the fight along with Al Bernstein and a couple of guys. And I'm up on it and I'm seeing, and I know what I'm looking for, and I've seen volume punches coming from Paulie, and I've seen accurate, effective punches, right, coming from Broner. And I've seen 1 or 2 times in that fight, I've seen Broner hurt Paulie a couple of times. Not to the point where it was any, like, close to any knockdown, but his body language showed that he was affected by it, and Paulie got really stung by a couple of shots and got, all on his bike and retreat a little bit, which was smart. Because, you hurt and you try to fight, you're going to get either knocked out, you're going to get, even hurt. All right.
Bernard, question on Malignaggi. Did he do better than you expected? To me, he really had like a moral victory.
He's in Brooklyn. He was born not too far from this stadium. He has that Italian heart of big as New York, where he's home. I don't know about you, but ain't too many people gonna go in your house and beat you up in your house. So he gave that spirit, and also his talent and his experience of having multiple championship opportunities and 2 or 3 divisions. So I wasn't surprised that Paulie put up the fight that he put up, because he always showed heart. I mean, that's one thing that you can't say about Paulie, is that he won't go down swinging. And tonight, you've seen him being really outpowered by really a bigger guy and a more faster and accurate guy, and got hit with some right hands from the 3rd round to the 12th. He was getting nailed with right hand counter shots that he didn't back down from. And that's where it's at. That's where it's at. But Broner did what he had to do, and he pulled it out, and he showed maturity in this fight, as far as I'm concerned.
A question for Richard real quick. Obviously, you're always thinking a step or 2 ahead. What would you like to see next with Broner?
Well, we have to first see if he wants to stay at 147 or not, but I just want to quickly add about Paulie's performance. I think tonight was Brooklyn pride. Brooklyn pride and Brooklyn heart, and what Paulie showed tonight is certainly nothing, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. I think for Adrian the question is going to be, does he want to stay at 47 and defend his title? Does he want to move to 140? He still is the lightweight champion as well. He didn't give up that belt yet. I don't see him going back down to lightweight. So we have to see what he wants to do. But, like for example, a fight between Adrian and a Marcus Maidana, I would love to see that as a fan. So there are many good names there. I mean, the division is so deep. There's Amir Khan, there's Devin Alexander, there's Victor Ortiz, there's Roberto Goes Guerrero. I mean, the names, they go on and on. So there are going to be some big fights for Adrian. And I think, I'm not a boxing expert, obviously. Bernard knows the sport a million times better than I do. But I think the way maybe Adrian got hit tonight and so on is as well because he knew that Paulie couldn't hurt him, and I think you fight a different fight than if you would go and fight a Marcos Maidana, where you know it's a big puncher. So I think we probably have to take that into consideration as well.
Richard, Broner said during the week, and repeated, I believe, in the ring again tonight, that he intends to allow the fans to pick his next opponent. Would you support his effort to do that?
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, what if the fans think Floyd Mayweather?
I have no problem with that.
Marcos Maidana is the mandatory per the WBA. Are you going to push that fight?
I'm not going to push fights. I like to make the best fights, and I think that in my opinion, is at 147 one of the best fights you can make. That's just my opinion as a fan. I like to see it. Because Adrian Broner will never be in a boring fight, and we all know that Marcos Maidana will never be in a boring fight. Now you put those two guys together, I can even do the matchmaking. Right, Bernard?
That sells itself.
Exactly.
So, we should talk
So
about
where do we
something
stand
else.
with
What you want something?
dealing with issues?
Schaefer, you might as well take this time to talk about Garcia Matisse.
Oh, that's a good question. What do you want to know?
The rumor
is it's not done because Danny Garcia wants $5 million. Is there any truth to that?
I haven't heard those rumors. No. Well, you know, Danny Garcia is the kind of fighter who never backs down of fighting anybody, and a lot of people gave him virtually no chance when he went in and fought Amir Khan, and you see what happened. And these kind of tough fights, they motivate a fighter like Danny Garcia, and I think all of you should have learned by now that one thing you cannot do is count Danny Garcia out. So there is no issue. You know, just have to find the right spot, the right date, but both fighters want to fight, and you know, usually we get those big fights done, and I know that that's one of those fights fans want to see. I think, you know, everybody asks me about Mayweather and Canelo, can you get it done, can you get it done, and then one day, one evening, the announcement came out, we got it done, and I think it took everybody a bit by surprise, because nobody expected it. Everybody doubted that Floyd would commit to fight back-to-back in such a short period of time, and that he would actually go and fight somebody like Canelo, but Floyd Mayweather did, and so did Canelo, and I think I'm going to do the same here. Monday, in the next couple of weeks or so, I'm going to announce that that fight is done. And I'm going to let you guys know when and where, and hopefully all show up.
Richard, would you say that September 7th date, is that still a working date?
No, we have a lot of dates. So I mean, we have so many dates. So that's exactly what I want to do. Is we're going to start on Monday. Make sure you guys are all going to be there at the press conference for Mayweather and Canelo from Times Square. So I'm going to be spending 10 days on the road and going to have some time to talk with the president of sports for Showtime, Steven Espinoza, and see where we can slot in those different fights. But there is a lot of good fights. One card which I mentioned already, some of you might have heard about it, is August the 24th. August the 24th is going to be a doubleheader from Carson with Abner Mares, looks like against Johnny Gonzalez. Both fighters have verbally agreed to the fight. And then the purse bid which we want, Leo Santa Cruz moving up in weight, fighting Victor Terrazas. A great doubleheader, and we will have another sellout in Carson at the facility there. And then we have potentially something on August the 31st. We have September 7th. I'm going to be talking to Steven as well about Bernard's next fight. We all know that the IBF had ruled late yesterday that Murat is installed as the mandatory again. So, Bernard told me a long time ago he doesn't care who he fights, he just wants to make sure of the mandatory. And so, you know, I'm going to be working on that as well. So there's a lot of moving pieces, and it's a matter of finding the right sites, the right venues to obviously put these fights all together.
Richard,
Yeah,
good to see you again.
good to see you, Francisco.
So, just to piggyback off of what Ness was saying, September 7th, Dodger Stadium is off the table.
Well, you know, I love to do a show, a boxing event at the Dodger Stadium. The people from Dodger Stadium have reached out to us, and so that's still a plan. I don't know what date exactly, but we're definitely going to do something September the 7th as well.
Real quick, go.
Okay, so I hear...
One last one, Richard. One last one. The other hiccup supposedly to Garcia Matisse is the fact that Team Garcia wants anti-doping and Lucas Matisse lives in Argentina.
I think you have your own sources, you know. I don't know where you come up with all that shit. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Why are you looking the other way, though?
I think you're the one who creates those rumors.
Matisse lives
The
in
rumors going
Argentina.
around. Rumors you create.
Okay.
Anyway, so...
All calling.
Yeah, so we don't get protection no more.
I want to move my feet.
Somebody just said Richard calling you out. Damn, bro.
What's up, guys? I just want to say some stuff about this, what I was saying in the post-fight post-fight interview. I was a bit emotional in the moment.
Hey, quiet back there.
I'm not trying to say Tom Schreck is really in Al Heyman's pocket, but I do think he's a bit incompetent in what he was watching, you know? I don't know if he went into the fight with a predisposed mentality that, hey, AB was going to win and that was it, and he wasn't going to score the fight any other way. Yeah, I think the fight was close and it was competitive. What's going on back there? Yo, is my people in here?
Richard.
Make sure my people's in here, man.
He wants to speak.
I want my people in the room.
Let them, well, I think there's so many here. But let Paulie's people in, just make
Let
sure.
my people in the room. Where's my
Let
family?
Paulie's family in.
Thanks, Dave.
I didn't know that. Can you maybe go and see his family?
Pete, you know who belongs in here, who doesn't? Make sure. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so, I mean, you know, I think the fight was competitive. Here's the thing. In boxing, there's always these stereotypes about you got to take the belt from the champion. If you're in like somebody's hometown, you got to win by a little more. If this fight was in Cincinnati and I was the challenger, I would say, hey man, it happens. You know, you got to win by a little bit more than just the norm. You know, but I came into this fight as the champion. I came into this fight as the hometown fighter. I could have at least got a draw. Would have been nice, keep my title. I don't think he did enough to win the title. He's a good little talent, good fighter. He doesn't hit hard at all. I mean, probably I've been hit by girls who work harder than him, but he is sharp. He's a sharp little fighter. You know, it didn't go my way. You know, I don't know what else, what more to comment on it. You know, but you know, it's a bit disappointing. You know, I thought I did outwork him. He's tough to hit clean, but he stands in front of you a lot. So you know, it was easy to find him to the body a lot. I felt like the body shots really slowed him down, and I was able to out-throw him a lot because of him slowing down with the body shots. And again, I mean, I was able to stand in front of him a lot more because he didn't hit hard. I mean, if the kid hit hard, I really might have been in trouble, you know. But between him not throwing a lot of punches and him not being a big puncher, I was able to stay in front of him a bit more than even I anticipated, you know. I don't know. I'm 32 years old, man. I think if I had the legs when I was 25, I know everybody talks about how good Adrian Broner is, but I don't think he would have beat a 25-year-old Paulie Malignaggi, you know, not with the legs. Not with the legs I had back then.
He didn't beat you tonight.
Not with the legs I had back then, you know. I mean, I got 32-year-old legs, and he's got 23-year-old legs, and he won a split this. He won a split decision that, you know. Oh, whatever it is, you know. I didn't get the decision, but I'm putting it into perspective here for everybody. This guy's getting covers on Ring Magazine, this guy's getting promoted as the next thing for boxing. Did boxing really win tonight? I mean, the kid is not an example for anybody to look up to. The kid has no manners. Even after the fight, he had no manners. He's not a good person. He's an average. I'm not gonna say he's an average fighter. He's got some talent, but he's not a guy with the talent that can carry the sport anyway. You know what I'm saying? He's a good little fighter, but there's a lot of good fighters in other weight classes, or even in our weight class, that have more star power than Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner is a wannabe rapper that can box a little bit. That they gave a welterweight title to tonight, so on paper he's a 3-time world champion, you know, and he's got Al Heyman backing him. So
Was he less than you expected?
a lot less than I expected, yeah. I mean, first off, the punch and power. The most he hurt me, the most I felt was when he hit me on the break with that left hook. I think it was around 1 or 2. I felt that a little bit because it just kind of caught me off guard, but I recovered pretty quick. But that was literally a shot. I mean, he hit me with something I didn't see totally. Like, if you can punch and you hit me with a shot like that, like, you're supposed to knock me out cold. You know what I mean? Like, that shot hit me cold. I wasn't paying attention. I was breaking, like, totally innocently, and he hit me with a clean left hook. You know, so I felt that one a little bit. But then again, if any grown man hits you with a shot you don't see at all, you know, you're gonna feel it a little bit. But that was it. I mean, he doesn't hit hard. He's probably better off going back down to 40 or 35. I don't even think 40 is good for him because, you know, there's some pretty strong guys at 40. He's probably better off going back down to 135 and chilling out there for a little bit because there's some strong welterweights. I don't know about him dealing with them.
Paulie, during the fight, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Broner done various tactics throughout the fight. He was constantly talking to you, he kneed you, he was using a few underhand tactics.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel? How did that change?
Well, I anticipated that already. He was just saying you can't hit me. So I was just basically saying, no, I'm touching you. I was like, I said, don't be so sure about that. I'm touching you. You know, the game plan was to, you know, touch him up to the body because we saw in the Ponte de Leon fight, he doesn't get off a lot of punches, so we wanted to give him even more reason to not throw a lot of punches. You know, we wanted to give him more reason to think about the distance. You know, I never felt I was going to be at risk to be stopped at all in the night. You know, and so. There were spots where he would come with a bit of a flurry. You know, he would land some clean shots and some not clean shots, but whatever landed wasn't strong enough to slow me down, and a lot of it missed, so that I was able to jump right back on top of him and take back the momentum, you know, because he's not a stick and move fighter. Well, a good fighter will land that kind of flurry and step around you or leave you there or follow up with another flurry. You know, a lot of times he would throw that little flurry and then he would stand there and just talk. But he was gassed out from throwing that flurry, and I would know it a lot of times. So he would throw his flurry. I would make sure some of it landed and some of it didn't. I couldn't make him miss every shot, but as long as I knew I was making him miss enough, and then when it landed, it wasn't hitting me hard enough to slow me down, and then I would just jump right back on him. It was exciting for the crowd, but it also played on his mind, like, man, I'm not going to stop this guy. I'm not going to slow this guy down. So I wanted him to mentally know that, yo, man, you're gonna be here for a while, so you better chill with you better budget your punching because you don't want to get tired late, you know. I know it was on his mind, you know, and I felt like it would be on his mind based on how he fought the De Leon fight, because you can change your talent. I mean, you can learn about boxing, you can become a better fighter in the gym and work hard, but you can't change character. He's got no character, and he still has no character, you know. And I think I knew that going in, and you know. Those were spots that I felt like I could take advantage of, and those were spots that I felt like, you know, a lot of times I took back rounds because of it.
Paulie, can you compare and contrast him to some of the best guys you fought? Cotto, Hatton, and Khan. Where does he rate with them?
Hatton is hard to compare to anyone because Hatton, there was just so many things wrong about that fight. You know, I don't know how good. I can't even come out of that fight saying how good Ricky was. Ricky's an awesome guy. He's a strong guy, but I can't break Ricky because I didn't feel like I felt like everything was wrong even before that fight. But as far as Miguel and Amir compared to AB, I mean, come on, you guys saw the difference. I mean, you know, AB fought a 32-year-old Paulie Malignaggi, and Miguel fought a 25-year-old Paulie Malignaggi, and Amir fought a 29-year-old Paulie Malignaggi. I mean, you can see the difference, you know, in the performances, you know. I think AB's pretty ordinary. I think he's pretty ordinary. And again, it's because he stands right there. He's there for the return. He's not easy to hit clean in the head, he can bash him up to the body, man. You know what I mean? He's there to hit to the body. He'll talk, he'll tell you you're not hitting him clean, but his work ethic proves otherwise. You know, if you're not hitting him that clean, why is he not punching back then? You know, so you know, at the end of the day, Miguel, he just hit so hard, and he was technically very sound. And Amir's speed was just on another level at that time. I mean, I feel like Amir slowed down a little bit for other reasons. Maybe he's been in tough fights, but Amir, when I fought him, was just so fast. I mean, so fast. It was, you couldn't even compare the speed from Broner to Amir Khan's speed at that time.
Paulie, great fight.
Thanks.
I was one of the few riders who actually thought this was going to be a close fight, and you were going to go 12 rounds.
Thanks.
I didn't predict a winner, but when you look back, is there maybe one thing that you could have done differently? I know your plan was to go to the body, and I thought he was slowing down by the 10th round. Is there one thing that you could have done differently in this fight?
I would have liked to use my legs a little bit more, but again, I don't know if it's, we use our legs pretty good in camp. I don't know if it's my age. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I mean, AB brought it every round, but I've been pressured every round by other fighters too and used my legs better. Again, I don't know. Broner fought a 32-year-old Paulie Malignaggi. I mean, I'm still talented at a high level, but it's possible my legs may not be the same as they were when I was 25, 26 either. But I'm not gonna say did this and that, because then it would be discrediting the good things that he did, because there were some good things he was doing as well.
Would you like a rematch?
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to get a rematch. It'd be cool. I felt very disrespected going into the fight. I was a champion. I'm the hometown fighter. I got paid less. I mean, not that I should complain for about a 7-figure payday, but come on, man. I got paid less. A lot of my people couldn't get their tickets because I don't know who got the floor seats. I know nobody on the undercard sold tickets. I mean, I can assure you that, because what ticket sellers were on the undercard? Nobody came for Saki Obika tonight. Nobody came for Seth Mitchell, Jonathan Banks tonight. They're not local. Not that their fights weren't entertaining, but I saw them in the locker room. They were entertaining, but it just wasn't that kind of party. So I don't know who got those floor seats that my people couldn't get their hands on, even to buy. Even some of my own people, I wanted to buy them from some of my trainers and stuff for their families. I couldn't get my hands on them. So I felt like, how are you limiting my star power by limiting what I'm selling? I'm the hometown guy. I'm the defending champion. But on top of which I got paid less. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna go back and I'll see if I feel like training this way again for another training camp. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, to say I'm insulted. I'm very calm right now. But to say I'm insulted is an understatement. And to top it off, then this decision came as well. So, I'll see. It'd be cool to get a rematch. It would, but I mean, I don't know that I want to live through another training camp either. So I don't know. I'll go back and think about it. Right now we just fought, and I know so many things are going through my mind, but we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, Paulie, good fight tonight. I heard your comments in the ring to Jim Gray after the fight, saying that the 117-111 scorecard from Tom Schreck, you felt like that, to use your words, that judge was in Al Heyman's pocket, and I'm wondering if you regret that, because there were many of us at ringside that had that exact same score in favor of Broner.
Me too.
Yeah. Well. No. I mean, I made some comments to start the press conference. Yeah, I was a bit emotional in the moment. I wouldn't say Shrek was in Heyman's pocket, but it's just funny how in boxing, the more politically connected guy always gets the close decisions. It never goes the other way. You know what I mean? Like, when do you see the politically not connected guy get the close decision? So it starts to feel like it's a little bit more than coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Because you never see the other guy who's not connected at all get the close decision. So it just starts to feel like a bit more than coincidence. But to say he's in Heyman's pocket is, it's probably a reach. But Shrek and everybody else at ringside who might have had a 117-111. I mean, there's probably a LensCrafters or a Pearl Vision Center not too far from me, and that's a pretty good place to start.
One other question, Paulie. You said that you weren't sure about having a rematch. You weren't sure about that, but you also said maybe you wouldn't fight again. Do you still want to fight again?
I don't know. I mean, I'm in the moment. I just fought, so I mean, I don't know. Is it annoying going through a training camp? Yeah. I mean, I used to look forward to fighting. I used to look forward to training for a big fight, man. But now I do feel like every time a training camp is coming, I'm like, oh man, the next 2 or 3 months are really gonna suck, So I don't know. I don't know, but then again, a rematch would appeal to me. You know, I would love to get back in the ring and do this again. And you know, if Broner wants to, you know, I wouldn't say right the wrong because he got the win, but you know, make it more of a statement and try to win more clearly and prove that he's a competitor. You know, I would definitely be up for thinking about it at least, but we'll see.
Okay, thank you very much.
Come to a split decision, and I felt like Adrian pretty much won every round. It looked like a unanimous decision to me, but that was in the judge's hands. At the end of the day, Adrian Broner is a 3-time champion. He's moved up 3 weight divisions, and I'm also kind of disappointed that Paulie didn't come up here and acknowledge how good a fighter he is. I think there was a lot of heat between the fighters, personal things that came into play that probably shouldn't, and I think, you know, maybe put a little cloud on this thing, but at the end of the day, Paulie as an announcer and as a fighter announcer, I think you gotta tell the truth about how good this kid is. He's one of the most talented kids in the world, and you gotta tell the truth.
I really think that you want to sell him for what he is not.
I'm sorry?
Oh, you want to sell him for what he is not.
What is he not?
He's not. He's not so great. And tonight he showed that he's not so great. I see you are selling him.
Well, you don't have to sell something that's obvious, and what's obvious is he's a 3-time champion. And to accomplish that, and he's got there by knocking people out and beating people as fast as he beat them today. That the proof is in the pudding. That's not a show. You can't buy that. It can't be bought. This kid has done the work. He's put the work into the gym. He's got 3 titles, and you don't get titles by not fighting and not winning.
No, I don't think it's anything to do with that. Nothing to do with money. But Mike, do you want to make some comments about what you felt?
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. The media, you know, I know there's always going to be some, you know, bad bread. You know what I'm saying? Adrian did what he had to do to win. He's a hell of a boxer. And, you know, you guys got to realize he's 23 years old, fighting a 32-year-old experienced Malignaggi. And, you know, he just picked him apart. I mean, he did what he had to do, you know, under the situations. You know, the ring was barely as badly dismantled. I don't know who put the ring together, but it was dismantled before the fight started. And, you know, other than that, though, Adrian really performed real good tonight. I mean, he just dismantled Paulie, you know. I know everybody respected for him to knock out, but if, you know, the guy's fighting a defensive fight, you know, you got to understand the other guy, you know. He wasn't taking that pressure. He wasn't taking no punches. So, you know, hey, he fought a defensive fight, you know, and he stayed away from Adrian Potter. You know, that's all it was. But Adrian, we adjusted, you know, and we did the thing to make us win. You know, it's all about winning. Just, you know, it don't make no difference if you win by 1 point or a knockout. It's still the same thing. It's a win is a win. And you can't be mad at the situation. It ain't about money. You know, you got judges. It's, you know, it's 3 different judges, you know, so you just can't say you got 2 against 1. You know, you can't say it's about money. And that's not fair. You know, because you got a job. People gonna say something about your money. You know, you just can't say it's about money, you know? All right?
Any other questions before Adrian comes? Mike or Andrew?
You think Adrian would have fought that kind of fight against a bigger puncher? I mean, that Paulie would
It's no matter. I mean, he'll make adjustments against anybody. And you got to start understanding these fighters. You know, it's about adjustments. It ain't about who's in front of you. It's about adjustments. You know, if you look at the playoff series just played, the coaches are making adjustments. It's about making adjustments.
Mike, I first would like to applaud Malignaggi. I don't want anyone to detract from what he did. He fought a hell of a fight against your kid.
Yeah.
One thing that did stand out for me, though, is those punch stat numbers. Paulie threw 800 some odd, Adrian only 500 some odd. expectations with Adrian are so high, right? So people are gonna find things to nitpick. That is one thing that did stand out for me. I'm wondering if for you, would you like him to be busier and throw closer to the 800 or the 700 rather than the 500?
I like for him to make the punches more, just like he did tonight, more impressive to the judges. Making Polly, if you look at Polly's face and everything, you know, that's what's happening. You know, his face was totally messed up. You know, totally messed up. You know, if you come, when Adrian come here, you gonna see a mark on it, you know. So, I don't know what stat you was
Actually,
listening
no,
to.
Polly's face was not very much.
Yes, it was.
Not
Yeah, from the first round.
When he
From the first
when he
round.
fought with Khan,
Yeah.
he was in very,
Yeah,
very bad
for the
shape.
first
Not
round.
tonight, not
You know,
at all.
You wasn't
You do not see
you
very
wasn't taking the punches. You wasn't taking the punches.
Yeah,
You just
you
writing the
tried,
story.
you tried. I really think
This
that
is
we are in
serious.
front of that.
This is
Anyway,
serious.
let's not debate that, okay? So,
I mean, Adrian was throwing straighter shots, cleaner shots, harder shots, and everything.
Mike, Paulie was in here earlier and was a bit dismissive about Adrian's power coming up to 47. Would you feel confident with Adrian remaining at 47?
He was hurting Polly tonight.
And getting in with some of the
He was
bigger
hurting Polly
punches?
tonight. He took a knee. Did you see him take a knee? Did you see him play football in there? That's all tactics. He was doing. Polly is an experienced fighter, you know? So experienced fighters going to do that. He know how to do it. And it's just like if you get knocked out, and your guy get knocked out, you get hurt, and when he come back to the ring, you throw water everywhere to give the guy time. It's about tactics. You know, Polly was a coach and a boxer in that ring tonight. I applaud him for that, but he wasn't no fighter.
You know, Paulie went into this fight as an 11-1 underdog. And I think a lot of people maybe expected that fight to play out as an 11-1 underdog kind of fight. But the fact is, you know, as many of you have said, as we have said up here, Paulie came to fight, he came with a lot of heart, he has a lot of experience, and he did, you know, he wouldn't go, And he was a very courageous fighter tonight, and I think Adrian's punches, I think Bernard summed it up very well. They were just more effective punching, and through this more effective punching, he was able to control the fight and persuade the judges that it was going his way. And most experts ringside, and I don't count myself as one of them, had it scored exactly like at 117, 111 in favor of Adrian Broner. So I think we really shouldn't cry about that, you know, Paulie didn't get this or didn't get that, or there was injustice or things like that. I think Paulie can walk out of the Barclays Center tonight with his head high up, because he came to fight, and the people in Brooklyn can be proud of Paulie Malignaggi, a terrific fighter with a tremendous heart. That's the story here. And Adrian came to fight, he moved up 2 weight classes, and he showed why he's Adrian Broner and why he's so good and why he is the best young fighter in the world. End of story.
Who else do we know at 23 years old that's willing to move up 2 weight divisions and fight a title holder? I mean, we're going up and fighting title holders. We're not going up and taking a tune-up fight. We went from 30 to 35 straight to the top guy in the division and knocked him out. We went to 47 and came into his hometown, and in my opinion, won a unanimous decision, but got a split decision. But that's okay, it's still a decision. It's not taking anything away from Paulie. He's a great fighter, he's got a great chin.
There he comes. The new WBA World Champion, Adrian "The Problem" Broner.
And I was waiting on y'all.
I apologize for being late. They wanted to see what I was pissing out and what was in my blood. Hell of a fight tonight. You know, Polly's a world-class fighter. He did what he was supposed to do, and that's run from every opponent he's faced, and he ran from me. But we hawked him down. You know, we did what we had to do to get the victory. He was throwing a lot of shots, but it's not about how many shots you throw, it's about how many shots you land. And I was landing the more effective shots and the bigger shots the whole fight. So, you know, I came in his hometown, I came in his backyard. It was a lot of people against me, it was a lot of people with me, you know, and I still got the victory. And that's the main thing. So right now, you know, I want to give thanks to God, Al Heyman, on our promotion, Golden Boy Promotions, World Star, Aviani Jeweler, you know, keeping me icy always. You know, I'm proud for this WBA to be in his family now. You know, I got the WBO before I got the WBC. You know, and now that I have a WBA, you know, I'm proud. You know, now it's time to go get more belts in somebody else's weight class. I don't know if it's going to be light welterweight, or I might go back down to lightweight or junior lightweight. It really don't matter. So we just having fun right now. Y'all can hit me up now. Just, you know, ask some questions.
Do you feel like you're 23 years old and you're doing all these big fights? Burnout effect, you afraid of that a little bit?
You said what?
You know, the guy comes up 23 years old, he's already fought 3 championships. You know, he's under all this pressure. Do you feel like you're comfortable with all this?
As you can see today, you know, I'm never under pressure. I bring pressure. No pressure. If we talk about pressure, it comes from the hood, but that's something else. That's something else. You don't know nothing about.
Adrian, how comfortable were you fighting at 147 for the first time then?
I mean, I felt good, man. I mean, I was definitely strong, as you can see. You know, tonight I was definitely a welterweight, and I felt good.
Adrian, over here. Congratulations.
That's my man, Dan.
Congratulations. My question for you is, you mentioned in your remarks now that you might go down to 140 pounds, maybe back to 135, but did you feel like that you were as comfortable at this weight class as you had been in other weight classes? And if you did decide to go down, what would be the reason?
It's just whatever's the better fight for me. That's what I'm doing. I don't care what weight is at. If it's the best fight for me for my career, then that's where we'll be at. But I was definitely comfortable.
One other question for you. How surprised were you when the scorecards were read and you had been the loser on one of those scorecards? It seemed very surprising, frankly, to a lot of us at ringside.
I mean, it's all right, man. I came to a man's hometown. I mean, I kind of expected to go that way, but I knew I was going to get the victory.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Was there anything that Paulie did that surprised you, maybe sort of go to the body more than you anticipated?
What are you talking about? He hit me?
Okay, next question. How about your punching power at 147? Did you feel as strong at 147 than you did at 135?
Of course, man. I'm still strong. Paulie, like I said, I tip my hat to him. He could take a shot. A lot of them.
Has your speed been affected, do you think, at the heavier weight?
You said what?
Has your speed been affected in any way, being a little heavier?
Negative. You know, I still had the speed. You know, the fight today, I didn't have to use my speed. It was more about timing.
Over here. Hey, what was you saying to him while you was hitting him in his face?
You can't hit me. I hit Jessica, and I'm hitting you. He asked the question, shit.
Got a great answer.
Anybody else? Questions? Over there.
Adrian, at the end of the fight, you said that the fans can pick your next opponent.
Yeah.
Richard said he supports that endeavor. Now the question is, what weight?
You better not say it.
The question is, what weight is that going to be in?
It really don't matter. He can pick, like the fans can pick my opponent.
But out of a list of how many? And who's gonna pick the opponent that's gonna be?
What I'm saying is, my fans can pick the opponent.
Is there anyone excluded from that?
Of course it is. One. Y'all know y'all better not go there.
Anybody else?
No. Any other question?
No.
All right, thank you very much.